back to Dixie Weather Center. My name is Caleb Crick. Today is Monday, September 8th, 2025, and I've got a lot of updates for you today, especially concerning the much below average temperatures we are going to be seeing across much of the Dixie Valley as we go throughout the next couple of days. Already, we have seen across parts of the northern Dixie Valley lows in the 50s and even some 40s up in the Appalachian Mountains, which is very rare for this time of year. Still in summer. Fall is coming very soon, but we are still in summer for the time being, and we're still seeing those. We're already seeing those fall-like temperatures. I do believe we will start to see an above-average climb to the temperatures as we go farther into September, and I'll talk about that in this video. I will also be talking about the rainfall pattern that we will start to see as we go throughout the rest of this week and into the beginning of next week. Much below-average rainfall across much of the Dixie Valley, especially central and northern parts of the Dixie Valley. A much drier period as we go throughout the next couple of days. Not much rain as we've been seeing over the past couple of weeks. Most of the rain will be centered along the Gulf Coast and in parts of southern Florida, where we'll still be seeing those above average temperatures. All this and more is included in this video, so let's get right into it. Now, here is a look at the United States from satellite imagery right now. You can see not a lot going on across most of the Dixie Valley right now. Most of us are clear for the moment. We just saw those big storms Thursday through Friday, some damaging winds, especially across parts of Tennessee into the Carolinas on Friday. We saw that all move out on Saturday. We saw that all move out by Sunday. Not maybe a few scattered showers and thunderstorms across maybe areas like Virginia Beach down through Myrtle Beach. A few scattered showers and thunderstorms on Sunday, but that has all moved offshore now. Maybe a few just remaining clouds on the coast of of the Carolinas, and then some higher clouds down further to the south, southern Alabama, southern Georgia, and throughout most of Florida, where we have chances for some scattered showers and thunderstorms, where the most heating occurs throughout the day today. But we do expect most of us to dry out as we go through the next couple of days. Not expecting a lot of rain throughout much of the Dixie Valley as we go throughout much of this week. Exceptions being farther to the south along the Gulf and parts of Florida, still seeing those higher chances for some rainfall. Not really high chances, but some daily higher chances because of the daytime heating. You can also see another thing that's catching our eye, this big comma head over here located right off the coast of the U.S., about to move on. Big low pressure system that will be a driving factor for some rain up in the Pacific Northwest as we go throughout the next couple of days, some scattered showers and thunderstorms. This was maybe having the chance, a week ago, we saw this maybe having the chance to cause some severe weather out here in the northern plains as we went into this week, but it's not looking like that's going to happen. Not much is going to happen with that anymore, as we are expecting this to lift farther to the north. What this is going to allow to happen, though, is some more warm air to be driven out of the Gulf, some warmer temperatures that we haven't seen in a while over here across the Dixie Valley. We have this cool down remaining in place for the beginning into the middle of this week, but I do believe as we go farther into September, we are going to start to see a warming trend, and much of us are going to start to see those much above average temperatures as we go farther into the month of September. Here's a look at some of the damage reports we saw that came out on Friday. Here's a look at we didn't really have as much of a severe weather event as I thought on Friday. I thought it would be more of a significant day than actually panned out. We did see that line start to develop in parts of central and western Tennessee and move off to the east pretty quickly. That did develop really quickly and get pretty strong pretty fast. But we also saw that weaken really quickly and not cause too much trouble down the road. A few scattered damaging wind reports, a few hail reports. We did have a significant damaging wind report of 75 miles per hour over here in central Tennessee. A few other damaging wind reports, parts of Kentucky, West Virginia, and parts of North Carolina. A few scattered damaging wind reports. And we also had a few significant damaging wind and some hail reports over here in parts of Texas, where we did see some large hail and some damaging winds as well. Really not too much. We didn't have any tornado reports, which was good. That was what we were really concerned about from the beginning. What was pretty unexpected, though, was that Saturday's severe weather event was actually more significant than Friday's, and we expected Fridays to be probably more on the significant side. But no, Saturdays ended up being more significant. Not for areas throughout the Dixie Valley. We had a few scattered damaging wind gusts, mainly in the Carolinas, a few hail and wind reports in near Atlanta, Georgia, and then a few in Alabama as well. Not really much along Dixie Valley, but what really Two of the significant storms that happened was up here in New England and along the east coast, the northeast coast. A lot of damaging winds, very strong gusty winds, had some significant wind gusts as well. And we also had a few reported tornadoes. Now, this report doesn't show any tornadoes, but we did have maybe 2 reports of tornadoes down. We had radar verification of that. So a lot of significant wind damage and a couple of tornadoes that happened up there in New England. Pretty surprise event that happened there. Not really common for a slight risk. That could have even been keys for an enhanced risk. We didn't really see that, though. A few damaging winds that happened in North Carolina, but really not some kind just a run-in-the-mill kind of severe weather event, just some kind of summertime weather event that we normally see this time of year. And like I said earlier, that is probably the last time we're going to see rain, at least in the central and western and northern portions of the Dixie Valley for a little while, much below average precipitation, much below average rainfall over the next week, 6 to 10 days. We don't expect really any rainfall across much of the Dixie Valley, Georgia, and into the Appalachian Mountains, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, much below average rainfall, into Louisiana, all across the central U.S., east central U.S., not really seeing much in the way of rainfall as we go in throughout the rest of this week and into the beginning of next week, much below average precipitation, and that really doesn't even change as we go into next week. We still expect to not really, it doesn't mean we're not going to see any rain at all. We definitely will see some rain in some of these areas, and this definitely could change too. It's still pretty far out there, but we are really mostly looking at a much drier time period, at least for as we go into much of September. A lot drier weather, not as much rainfall. And we really don't need to see. We don't need much rain, especially in these areas that have already seen a lot of rain over the past couple of weeks. So it's not like we're in drought conditions or anything, so nothing to really worry about. Areas that will remain pretty wet for the time being, at least in the next 6 to 10 days. Above average rainfall expected across parts of the East Coast, and then maybe even parts of central and southern peninsula of Florida for some more rainfall activity as we go throughout the rest of this week and into the beginning of next week. We expect some fronts to move through the area, and a lot of moisture, a lot of tropical activity throughout the area. So just more showers and thunderstorms, especially with some more of those higher temperatures that we will continue to see over the next couple of days. Looking more long-term, though, this is the weeks 3 and 4 temperature outlook. This is by the time we go to towards the end of September and into maybe the beginning of October. We are going to start to see those above average temperatures return. We don't expect to see as much of a cool down, more above average temperatures than we normally see. The areas that won't be seeing as much above average temperatures would be up here in parts of the Pacific Northwest, into parts of the northern plains. The areas that have been seeing the higher temperatures of the past couple of weeks will start to see those cooler temperatures start to factor in from Canada. We'll start to see more of a pattern flip. The stuff that we were seeing maybe throughout the beginning of this month and the end of August will now be moving off to the north and west, and now we will be seeing what they've been seeing over the past couple of weeks, hotter and drier environment over the next, once again, we aren't seeing that right now. We are seeing some cooler temperatures for the time being, but we do expect it to remain dry, and as we go farther into September, we do expect it to start heating up again, more above average temperatures. All of the Dixie Valley highlighted under above average temperatures for the end of the month of September. More areas that will be seeing more above average temperatures down here in parts of the central and southwestern portions of the Dixie Valley, Louisiana, parts of Mississippi and Alabama, seeing those more above average temperatures than the rest. But here's just the broad overview. We are seeing those cooler temperatures right now, more of a drier time period. The dry weather starts now. We will start to see the drier conditions, especially across central and northern portions of the Dixie Valley. Most of the Dixie Valley remaining rain-free over the next couple of days, maybe throughout the rest of this week, even most of us, unless you're along the East Coast and down throughout parts of the peninsula of Florida. But farther into the month of September, we will start to see those cooler temperatures transition into warmer temperatures. We'll start to have high pressure build, and we'll start to see more of a warmer and drier time period. And like I said, we are going to start to see the return to some warmer weather, more hotter conditions across much of the Dixie Valley as we go farther into the month of September. Right now, we are enjoying those cooler temperatures across much of the central and northern parts of the Dixie Valley. Further south, still below average temperatures for most areas except for the peninsula of Florida. not as below average as farther off to the north, but we're really enjoying these temperatures for now, but we won't be enjoying them for too long. Eventually, as we go farther into September, we do expect to see some of those hotter temperatures start to factor in. This is by September 13th next week. This is by the week. Actually, this is by the weekend this week. Already seeing temperatures in the 90s. As we go into the weekend, we're already going to start to see the refiring of hotter temperatures. Areas that won't be seeing as hot of temperatures as we go farther into September would be along the East Coast, at least for the beginning of next week. Farther into next week, we will start to see those hotter temperatures start in the west and slowly move off to the east. It's gonna start in areas like Louisiana, Mississippi, and western Tennessee. Areas in the central mid to upper 90s across parts of Mississippi and Louisiana for highs. And eventually, moving farther off to the west, we will start to see those much hotter temperatures. Look at that, 102 in Little Rock, Arkansas, upper 90s across much of the Dixie Alley. 90s. We haven't seen 90s in a while across much of the Dixie Alley here. In my neighborhood, we've only been seeing 80s over the past couple of weeks for high temperatures and low temperatures in the 60s and 50s. So it's been feeling really great. We've been seeing a really really good August. We really had much below average temperatures for much of August and at the beginning of September, a lot of cooler temperatures. But I do think that will change as we go farther into September. We will still start to see those higher temperatures start to factor in. Now, as we go farther into the future, things become more uncertain. We do believe those higher temperatures will remain in place, the drier conditions, unless a hurricane forms or something like that. That's what the GFS model is showing as we go farther off into September. Not saying that's going to happen. No other of the models are showing this yet. But we will need to start to watch the Gulf for some development as we go farther into the next couple of weeks because of how favorable they really are. With that being said, here's a look at what the GFS model is showing in terms of the tropical conditions we could see as we go farther into September. Now, we saw Gabriel, back in maybe less than a week ago. We were like, man, this is going to develop into a big hurricane, slap into the Caribbean Sea, and then maybe even move up into the United States as a major hurricane. Well, that did not play out like we expected. This thing, all the computer models dropped within a day. This going from a hurricane all the way to no name storm at all. This tropical wave entered really unfavorable conditions for development and really fizzled out very, very quickly. A lot of us across much of the weather community were wrong. I don't think anybody could say that they were right with predicting this system. All of us thought this was going to develop a week ago, and now it's not. It hasn't developed, and it's completely gone now. So we're no threat with that now. In my last video, I was like, oh, guys, there is a system that might develop, and now I'm saying there's not a system that's going to develop. I'm sorry. I don't know. A lot of the models, all of the models, basically, were showing it's developing into a hurricane, but that just goes to show how many things can change in the atmosphere. Nothing is ever locked in weather forecasting. There can be changes very quickly, especially with the tropics. Things can really quickly change, and we've seen that over the past couple of months with some of these tropical systems. They said they were going to develop, and now they said they aren't. Some that we weren't expecting to develop that did develop really big. So we do need to continue to watch that. GFS model, once again, like I said, is picking up on some development as we go farther into the month of September, farther into maybe next week, showing a hurricane develop in the Gulf of Mexico. It's really not making that strong, but that would cause a lot of flooding rainfall across much of the Dixie Alley, strong winds along the Louisiana coast. This isn't going to happen, but there is a chance for that. Something like this to happen as we go farther into maybe next week. There's going to be moisture starting to build in the Caribbean or in the Gulf of America as we go farther into next week. That we will have to watch for some possible development. None of the ingredients in the Gulf of Mexico or in the Gulf of America, have been used up yet. So we really need to watch that. It's very conducive for development there. We just need a wave that can take advantage of those warm sea temperatures, and then we'll get a big hurricane. But only if that happens. It's only an if at this moment. Nothing that is showing signs of development at this moment. We will need to watch, though, for the potential of development farther in the future. Nothing concerning right now. I'm not telling you there's going to be a hurricane developing, but we do need to watch for the possibility of that as we go farther into the future. And with that being said, that is all the weather info I've got for you today. Sorry, not as long as a video as we've been seeing. Not a lot to talk about in this video, just some long-term things to get out of the way. Some warmer temperatures coming in the future, drier air in place for the time being. We don't expect much rainfall across much of the Dixie Valley as we go throughout the rest of this week and into next week. A lot more of a drier climate. Maybe we will start to see some of the some additional rainfall, especially if we get a tropical system going into farther into September. But all of that is, too far out there to be even tracking at this moment. All we know is that drier air is in place for the moment, cooler temperatures over the next couple of days, but we will start to see that warm up coming soon. So make sure that you guys are ready for that. If you have not already, make sure you're checking the ambient weather site, shopambientweather.com. You can save 10% on their new WS 400 or 4000 that they have just made a new weather station. It's a decent amount of money, but it's really cool. Works really well. I haven't tried this one out yet, but I have a ambient weather station that I've had for quite a while. Very long lasting. They work very well. Give you all kinds of data from temperatures all the way to pressure dew point, rain gauges and stuff like that. Very simple to use, very easy to use. I really didn't take that long to set up. Give you a whole user's manual that tells you exactly what to do. So if you haven't already, I just suggest that you check it out. For if you're maybe looking for a personal weather station of your own. Once again, that's all the weather info I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I will see you in the next one.